What's good, YouTube? It's your man, Asriel, the one in the building. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I'm gonna stop saying certain phrases because I have a certain stalker that's on my nuts right now. So y'all know what to do. Anyway, so I'm out here in the brick cold, and I figured I need to make another video about what happened yesterday. So here it is. Dear black people, I understand. Once again, you feel you have tried, and once again, you feel the system has failed you. Once again, another black life is lost. Once again, you have people from all walks of life having opinions on something that most of them have never seen, and most of them weren't even there or even remotely close to the scene in which the crime happened. Now, I understand you're vexed, but I need to stress this first and foremost. Losing control of your emotions is the first step in losing your life. You can take of that what you will, but I think we can clearly see what is happening when black folk are losing control of themselves. Look at Ferguson, for example, the Rodney King riots. Every time there is a riot or some sort of civil unrest amongst the Negro community, things are destroyed, people get hurt. And it's not even been 24 hours since the decision of the Not True bill being announced. And here we are already. It's already happening in New York City, outside the 77th precinct. A private owned vehicle was torched. It already started. So I need to tell you guys this simply because I had desire to see no other individual. And notice I said individual. So this does not mean just black folks. It means everybody. I desire to see no person lose their life behind this. It is already enough to have lost a man who was a father, a husband, a friend. I didn't know him, but he was somebody's friend. He was somebody's father and somebody's husband. That's one death too many. And I can't honestly support anarchy and chaos that will cause the loss of more lives. Number two, I want you to steer clear of these dumbasses that are telling you to tear shit up. And yes, I'm going to throw a name out there, like Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm going to throw that name out there. I could give a damn how educated, how respected a person is. Anybody that would sit out there and tell you to tear shit up is a fucking dumbass. And if you follow behind that person, you just have made yourself a dumbass. Number three, let's not make this about race. Because even though the media portrays it that it's always you, do some digging and you'll find out it's not just you. It is happening to white people. White people are losing their hands at the hands of police or other citizens. But when it's especially the police, it doesn't get talked about because it doesn't generate ratings. The Latinos are getting beat up. Right around the time of Eric Gardner, a Puerto Rican woman, I believe, in Sunset Park, pregnant, was beaten on and hit in the belly with a baton. But even that didn't get much circulation. Why? Because of ratings. But notice, whenever it happens to your black ass, it's all people can talk about. And I'm going to tell you why. The media gets money out of this. They make money when you buy the publications. They get ratings when you go watch their broadcasts. It makes them relevant in the cyber world when you go to their social media pages to debate this. This is what happens. So in addition to losing a black man in a tragedy, in an already highly volatile situation, now you can add exploitation on top of it. And CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all those sons of bitches are fucking guilty. I want you to let that sink in for a second. Number 4, This is the hard part about this. I get that you're hurting. In the last 15 years, there's been a lot of black men who have lost their lives at the hands of police in New York City alone. And I get that frustration. I totally understand it. But unfortunately, we have to look at the bigger picture. Yes, at a macro level, we do need to address policies that are aimed at black folk. And we're going to address that. But what I'm aiming at is that we have to change this mentality of we're outraged for 2 and 3 weeks with no follow-up. See, this is why we keep having this problem. Every time these things happen, we hear about these changes. Or these changes are coming. But there's never a follow-up. Never. And that's what's sad. Because then when there's no follow-up and we hear about these changes, what it really means is we're going to placate you and let it go. Now, let's be realistic. The federal government may come in and do some things. And they have. But it doesn't change at the state level, at the city level, where we need the changes the most. And this is where you have to do your part. Now, I'm getting ready to say something to y'all that y'all probably not going to like. So if this is the point where you don't want to hear it, I strongly encourage you to stop watching now. Get up off my video, go somewhere else. Now, I get that a lot of y'all get upset when white folk keep saying, well, what about black on black crime? And let me just go ahead and address this point. When they do this, understand that 9 to 10, they're just trying to get you to shut up. That's 9 out of 10. But it doesn't mean that their point isn't valid. And that's something we're going to have to deal with. In this case, was Eric Gardner doing something violent? No, he wasn't. Did he have a checkered past? Yes, he did. But still in all, in the last 2 weeks, what have we've consistently heard? What about this going on in the black community? And the truth of the matter is, even though it may or may not be relevant to the specific incident, yet and still we must address it. And part of that is, and I know y'all not going to like this, but you're going to have to work with the police department. That's right, I said it. I said it. I'm going to say it again. You're going to have to work with the police department. Now, here's my perspective on that. As a community, I get the natural distrust of the police, and that's historic. But in order for progress to be made, you're going to have to put aside that disgust. You're going to have to put aside that distrust, and you're going to have to go in there and talk to these people. Let's remember, black folk, you people work. Your taxes help pay their fucking salaries. So in essence, they work for you. By your consent, you give them the authority to make arrests, to police your neighborhoods. So why should you not then go out and work with these people? Some of these cops come from your hoods, from your neighborhoods. Should you not want to talk and build a rapport? Now, on the other side of that, I need to say something to the NYPD. Understand that most black folk do not trust you. Most black folk have an intrinsic fear of you because of things they've seen, they've heard, or someone in their family has seen, felt, or experienced at your hands. Who could forget the brutal sodomization of Abner Louima? Who could forget how many other black men like Patrick Dorisman, Ousmane Zongo, Amadou Diallo, men that were shot down and killed by you, and it appears for no reason at all, even if you were exonerated or said that you didn't break the law. The thought is already in their minds. You said you hear and understand the people. So now you need to build that bridge. And what some of the things I think the people may want, and I don't speak for the people on this, I speak for myself as a private citizen, they want the transparency. Transparency goes and builds some trust. They're kind of worried about there being the good old boy system. And part of it is you're going to have to show the people that they can trust you. Because until they feel they can trust you, you're not going to get anywhere. It's just like how it works downrange. If the locals don't trust you, you can't accomplish your job. And anybody downrange can tell you. Who's been downrange can tell you. If the locals can't trust you, if they can't put some confidence in you, then anything you attempt to do in your AO is not going to work. That's why we had a Heart and Minds campaign. That's why we send money into those countries, because we're trying to do our job. We're trying to win the hearts and minds of the people to make our mission much easier. This is a known fact. I'm not saying anything I ain't supposed to. But back to the black folk. You're going to have to abandon this fear of the police, and you're going to have to put work in. That means you might want to start thinking about ways of building community relations, like building a civilian observation patrol, the same way the Jews have it in their own neighborhoods. It works. Believe me, it works. You might want to sit down and have an open forum. And matter of fact, that is something I'm encouraging, that there needs to be an open symposium where the police department brass can come down and talk to the locals. Not just black folk, not just Latinos, but everybody who has a concern. But specifically, black folks, you need to be there. And you need to voice your concerns. And you need to stand up and say what the hell is on your mind. Number two, not number two to that, but number 5 on this list, it appears to me the DA has punted this case. Now, I'm no lawyer. I can only speculate. I'm in the court of public opinion after all. And if that's what it looks like to me, well, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's a duck. Now, to be fair, I have not seen all the evidence. I have only seen or heard what was reported in the media. So there could be things I'm not aware of. Granted. But the way it looks funny to me. It should have been a true bill. And if the DA overreached for the charge on purpose, then ladies and gentlemen, there needs to be something done about that. You can't have this happen. You just can't have this happen. You need to be talking to your congressional leaders, city, state. If you need to talk to your senators, you do that. I'm not even going to interject why the president is silent on this. I'm not. I've just expected that he's going to be silent on it, or he's going to offer a little quip and be about his business. So I'm not going to involve that man in this. I'm just not. If he's got something to say that's worthwhile and he's going to actually lead the effort, I'll wait, but not with bated breath. It's just not going to happen. Black people, you're going to have to make these concessions. You're going to have to abandon the stop snitching culture. You're going to have to make a step somewhere. And you're going to have to do this. And I know it's going to be uncomfortable for you. But you got to. You ain't got no choice at this point. Because if you don't, it's going to keep happening. Finally, and more importantly, don't go around thinking that this is a failure of a system. The system was never perfect. And don't go thinking the system is not meant to protect you. It only fails or doesn't protect those who doesn't know what it's there for. So what I'm saying is you need to educate yourself on it. You need to learn the law. And you need to be prepared to make a show of it. What do I mean? You need to know how to navigate these systems. And you need to know how to bring it up to a world stage if you need to. It is my sincerest wish that the government and its people can work together to fix this problem. Because ultimately, you give these people their power. So you have the right to take it away. And the government can only do what you allow it to do. Whatever law is passed can only be passed because the people want it. If the police are overstepping their bounds, it's because the people allow it to be. And I know in a society, in a post 9/11 world, people are just whatever it takes to keep you safe. Like I said earlier, you give them the power and you have the right to take it away. I ask of you to not keep bitterness in your heart. Don't go, if I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. Don't go labeling the whole police department as a bunch of racists when that's further from the truth. Because truth be told, there are videos where there are black cops beating on black people just as much as there are white cops. The difference is when it's white, it sells. When it's not, it gets mentioned and thrown by the wayside. Know that the media is going to try to profit off of this. Don't let them. Know that you're going to have people who are very on the extreme right. They're going to have some sense of superiority. They're going to come at you. Pay it no mind. You're going to have these Pan-Africans like Dr. Umar Johnson and his ilk tell you to tear shit up and act a damn fool. Don't be that guy. Use your mind. Think. Just like I said earlier, I'm going to say it one more time. Because when you lose control of your emotions, it is the first step in losing your life. Be the change that you want to see, and understand that when you come to this channel looking for change and solutions, keep in mind that change starts with one. Be safe, be well, and God bless you. I'm out.